Shiloh, Bull Run, and Cold Harbor became Reading, Nazareth, and Syracuse. Tonight, old scores wait to be settled on an oval battlefield just miles from hallowed Gettysburg. Dirt racing returns to its roots. Once again, Pennsylvania pride rides against New York nerve. It's the CarQuest Keystone Classic, and it's live on Rush Hour.
Dirt tracking, born in the cornfields and lower 40s of rural America. Dirt tracking, the cornerstone of racing. The early barnstormers put it all on the line to satisfy their thirst for speed. Now, their great-grandchildren carry the torch with the same spirit and thirst. 700 horsepower rips the earth. For 1 hour, nothing else matters. It'll raise the hair on the back of your neck. Rush Hour on Dirt.
We are live 30 minutes south of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at Susquahanna Speedway in Newberrytown for the CarQuest Keystone Classic. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Doug Logan. Welcome to a new season of Rush Hour. Beginning tonight and continuing through Super Dirt Week in October, we'll feature the most exciting and entertaining wheel-to-wheel racing in America today, Dirt Modifieds. Tonight, we have 97 laps and 90 minutes of racing excitement. You know, many forms of racing can be defined in one descriptive term: Daytona, Indianapolis, or Le Mans. Dirt modified racing has been defined by regions: Central Pennsylvania and, of course, upstate New York. Joining me now is Dirt Motorsports racing analyst Gary Montgomery. And Gary, what is the historical significance of our opener right here in Newberrytown?
Well, the fact that we're in Pennsylvania, 30-something years ago, this was the epicenter for dirt track stock car racing. Nazareth, Reading, and Langhorne were the racetracks to race at. All aspiring drivers wanted to run there and win there. Fans filled the grandstands, race cars filled the pits. Today, none of those tracks even exist. The folks here at Susquehanna are trying to bring the glory back to the Keystone State.
When did the glory shift to upstate New York?
Well, I would say the decade of the 70s was a period of transition. Glenn Donnelly formed the Dirt Motorsports organization in the early 70s, and with that, racing in New York State took off. New racetracks were built, old racetracks were revived, and a love affair for competitors and fans as it took off. It's been great. And of course, the premier dirt track stock car race is the Syracuse 300, held each fall on the New York State Mile at Syracuse.
Well, two dirt racing modified legends that went at it wheel to wheel through an earlier era and continue to succeed today are down in the pits, standing by with our cowboy, Paul Small.
Doug, the two drivers that are standing with me represent that generation that we've been talking about. Those drivers that ran at the classic racetracks like Reading and Nazareth, and the guy to beat back then, and he's still pretty tough to beat today, is Kenny Brightbill. Kenny, you learned your trade following the likes of the Taz Natties and the Frankie Schneiders at places like Reading and Nazareth.
Well, we learned a trade back then, but everything's changed so much today that anybody coming in has just as good a chance to run just as good as you, even with all the years of experience.
Now, has your driving style changed over the years as the competition level has changed?
Well, you try to drive better and try to make your car work better, and you got to pick out the grooves on the racetrack and try to get to the front during the race. Other than that, that's all you can do.
Back in 1979 is when many people say that the New York drivers started to dominate dirt modified racing, and that was probably led by this man, Jack Johnson, who won what was then the Schaefer 200 back in 1979. Jack, how much has dirt racing changed since that first Syracuse victory for you?
I'll tell you, it's changed a whole lot. I mean, the aerodynamics and the race cars are so much better handling today, and the motors are so much more sophisticated that it's just so much easier to drive than the cars were back then.
Do you think maybe the New York drivers have become more dominant for a specific reason in the decade of the 80s and 90s?
No, I really don't believe so. Back then, you know, the Pennsylvania, Jersey drivers used to come up to Syracuse, run real well. They made New York drivers just work a whole lot better, but it seems like there's a whole lot more New York drivers at New York racetracks right now. It probably looks that way.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of experience between these two drivers, but don't count them out. At last year's Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series event, this guy lapped the entire field, except for Jack Johnson. Doug?
And a new war is about to rage on. We are live at Susquehanna Speedway in Newberrytown, Pennsylvania, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic will continue after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network. Rush Hour on Dirt is brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Top Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beers, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tire, Sunoco A-Plus Mini Market, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros, CarQuest.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence. The experience to get the job done right and a reputation for quality. Having what you need on hand, putting the parts together for the best possible performance. Being in the pros takes a special brand of confidence, and for professionally trained technicians, that confidence is CarQuest. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Think you're tough? Yeah! Think you're tough?
Yes, sir!
Are you tough? Ah! Tough enough to take the Tough Oil Challenge? Only Tough Oil's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most efficient lubricant. Tough Oil reduces the surface friction in your car's engine, so you keep going and going. The competition? They're left in their own smoke. Are you up to the Tough Oil Challenge? Nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
If you want these abs, this chest, and these arms, there are no shortcuts. But there is Bowflex, because no other type of workout is more effective than the kind of workout you get with a Bowflex.
It works. It gives you the same kind of results as you get from Nautilus equipment that you see in your fitness center.
What I've discovered with the Bowflex is that I can really reshape my body. In fact, I've lost 32 pounds and gotten firmer all over.
It takes me 20 minutes to do at home. On the Bowflex, what it would take me, I don't know, 2 hours at the gym.
I went from 239 pounds to 174 pounds, and I lost 13 inches off my waist.
So if these are the kind of results you're after, you need to get yourself a machine that really works. For a free video and more information on how you can get the fitness results you want in 6 weeks with Bowflex, call right now.
And we are live at the new home of champions, Susquahanna Speedway in New Barrytown, Pennsylvania, for the CarQuest Keystone Classic on Rush Hour. Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery, and we have a very hot and humid evening for racing, but we are soon to go racing. And, well, the excitement level is so high as we get headlong into this 1997 racing season.
This is the first race of this series, of course. 566 events in the Skoal Racing Series since its inception in 1972. So with this, the summer season officially gets underway, the midweek season. A lot of money it's taken this individual race and for the point series and so forth, all leading up to Mr. Dirt. This is where it really gets rolling, Doug.
And the fans here at Susquehanna Speedway are just thirsting for this kind of competition.
And they've been treated to some great qualifying races already this evening.
Well, who are some of the individuals, some of the top drivers that will be charting throughout the year, Gary?
Well, charting throughout the year, of course, you got to go with our perennial champions and the front runners, Doug Hoffman, Brett Hearn, Doug, the defending Skoal Series champion, Brett Hearn, a 3-time Skoal champion, Bob McCready, a 3-time Skoal champion. The familiar names, and the Johnsons, of course, all very much in this. Alan, Danny Johnson brothers, Jack Johnson, no relation, but you can't count out the Johnson. And of course, you got the Pennsylvania drivers in the form of, well, actually New Jersey drivers in the form of Hoffman and Hearn and Horton. So it's going to be a great summer.
Well, like so many tracks on the dirt circuit, Susquehanna Speedway's promoter is a member of a family rich in racing history. And earlier, we spoke with Susky owner and promoter Vince Vaccari about racing fires rekindled here in southern Pennsylvania.
That in dirt modified racing, if you wanted to be somebody, you had to come down here to Pennsylvania to beat the guys at Reading and Nazareth. Has that changed now?
Well, we're trying to bring that back. Ironically, I think that one of the finest fields collected and modifieds is right here at Susquehanna this year. And hopefully RSCA has brought the purses, the point funds, and the competition together to bring a little bit of that tradition back. And what will make it exciting is Pennsylvania versus Jersey versus New York, and we got the whole north-south thing working again.
The starting grid is coming together now for our Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series, the premier event for 1997 as we get into this outstanding series. And, well, we talked about this family rich in tradition, and it's right here at Susquahanna Speedway.
That's right. The Vicari family very much a factor in the tradition that we talked about at the open of the program, trying to bring it back here at their new track, the Susquehanna, the new home of champions, as they're calling it, the Susquehanna Speedway.
Well, you know, Dirt Motorsports has a very unique manner in which the first 16 starting positions are determined, and that's by a draw, Gary.
That's right. The top 4 finishers in the 4 qualifying heats that were run earlier tonight, they're all had a chance to draw from some bottles that were down on the racetrack, and that's how the top 16. So they shuffle things up. If you win a qualifying heat, it doesn't necessarily put you on the pole or even up front.
Well, let's see how things shuffled out. Paul Small is with our pole sitter for tonight's big race.
And that pole sitter happens to be the defending champion of the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series, Doug Hoffman, in the blockbuster video car number 1. Doug, some drivers say they'd rather be lucky than good. You were good last year, and you were lucky to draw the pole tonight.
Well, you know, starting position is everything at some racetracks. I don't think this racetrack, the starting position means everything, but I'm sure glad I'm on the pole. Blockbuster car felt real good in the heat race, and can't ask for a better starting spot.
Now, you may have an unfair advantage in this race because your brother Keith Hoffman, who races and wins here at Susquehanna, is acting as crew chief for you tonight.
Well, actually, I was looking for Keith to show up tonight, and he never made it, so the Blockbuster team's on their own, but they've been doing a great job all year long, and they're really pumped up, and we ran good in the heat race, so we just got to keep this thing going.
What's going to take to win this race tonight?
Well, we took a gamble on tires, so I think if the track doesn't turn too black, we got the advantage. If the track turns black, I'm going to have to hang on and use as much racetrack as I can.
Doug Hoffman is hoping to have a blockbuster night here at Susquehanna, Doug.
Well, thank you, Paul. What, Gary, does Doug Hoffman mean by the track turning black?
Well, it'll get hard. What he means by that is it'll get hard, and with that it gets slick, and that comes from a combination of the moisture coming up and the rubber going down, and that the combination of two things make it black, and you'll literally see that as the evening progresses. Even on a good track, it'll turn somewhat black, and he's set up for hoping it doesn't go too black here in the early going.
Well, let's take a look back at the final point standings from last year's heated Skoal Series, and look at there. Number 1 was Doug Hoffman. Finishing second was Brett the Jet Hearn.
Danny Johnson was 3rd, Jeff Hetzler 4th, Kenny Tremont 5th. All those drivers are very much a factor in the 1997 chase as well, or they will be a factor.
And we spoke of the standings from last year and the heated race from last year, and actually it comes right down to Super Dirt Week invariably, and that big Syracuse 300.
That's right, and Doug Hoffman had the fortune of winning that race, and Brett Hearn had the unfortunate of not finishing the race. He was involved in a very unfortunate crash on pit road, knocked him out very early in the going, and who knows what would have happened otherwise, but as you said, it comes down to Syracuse.
Well, we just saw him getting into position. Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3, 6-time Skoal champion and now 3-time runner-up in that series, Brett Hearn. He'll be starting tonight's race from the 19th position. He's really going to have his hands full.
That's right. Doug Hoffman said in his open there just a moment ago that starting position wasn't all that important. Well, that's easy to say when you're on the pole, but for sure, Brett Hearn has his work cut out for him. But anything can happen on the dirt track, and we probably will.
There's a look at the Budweiser number 3, and right next to Brett Hearn is Paul Small with the corporate jet.
Brett starting a little bit further back in the field than you probably like here this evening at Susquehanna, but you have run well here in the past.
We suffered from a bad draw in the heat race. We started on the back row, and we were lucky to get up to 5th and qualify. But I think we've got the Budweiser car is a good car tonight. I think we can get to the front with this thing if we just keep our nose clean.
What kind of a race do you expect to have this evening?
Well, the track's a little choppy, but I think that the groove has widened considerably since the heat race, and you know, it'll be a rough and tumble race. I mean, there's going to be a lot of bumping and grinding out there, but like I said, if we can keep our nose clean, I think we'll get to the front.
The Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series is such a key to the overall Mr. Dirt Championship, which you won last year by just a mere 3 points. How critical is it to start off on the right foot, so to speak?
Well, last year that every spot and every race, it means a lot towards the end. I won the deal last year by 1 position after a full season, so we're off to a good start this year, and I'm taking every race at a time, but I'll tell you what, I'm taking every position at a time too.
The competitive fire is certainly burning in Brett the Jet's eyes tonight, Doug.
And when we come back, the engines will fire and roar to life. We'll go racing at Susquahanna Speedway for the CarQuest Keystone Classic, live on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Hi, I'm Brett Hearn of the Budweiser Racing Team. And I'm Trooper John Hollenbeck of the New York State Police. Events happen very quickly on the racetrack. A crash can occur at any moment, so we need to be alert and ready to react to danger.
It's the same for you. You need to be at your sharpest on the highway. Alcohol slows the reflexes and increases the reaction time that you may need to avoid a crash.
We have to know our limits on the track to be safe. So do you.
Please, don't drink and drive.
A-Plus Mini Market, your 24-hour ticket to convenience.
Now every 20 ounce, every 32 ounce, and every 44 ounce fountain drink is just 79 cents at participating A-Plus and A-Plus Express stores, where one price fits all.
Over 3,000 items. A-Plus Mini Market, 24-hour convenience, your store, plus more.
Now's the time to fly Carnival Air with great fares from Islip, Long Island to Fort Lauderdale from $110. Islip to Orlando from $110. And Islip to Tampa or West Palm Beach from $120. And you can earn free travel on Pan Am's World Pass Frequent Flyer program. Carnival Air, a great future with Pan Am. Call your travel agent or Carnival, 1-800-8-AIR-FUN.
More scoring, faster pace, closer coverage. The 50-yard indoor war known as arena football is in session, and the New Jersey Red Dogs are out to make their mark on the rest of the league. Sport Channel's exclusive coverage of the Red Dogs goes behind the scenes and captures all the up-close, fast-paced field action. 8-on-8 squads, no punts, and more points. See why they call it in-your-face football. Saturday, June 14th at 7:30, the Red Dogs take on the Tampa Bay Storm, only on Sports Channel.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
And we are live in South Central Pennsylvania, Newberrytown, for the CarQuest Keystone Classic at Susquahanna Speedway. And the cars are getting lined up. We're ready to go racing. Our heat winners from earlier this evening. Heat number 1 went to Kenny Brightbill, and he looked strong.
He certainly did. This is one of his favorite racetracks, and as was said earlier, he's the defending champion of this race, so we've got to look for Kenny Brightbill to do great things here tonight.
Jamie Mills won heat number 2. Number 3 went to Billy Decker, and heat number 4 went to Doug Hoffman. 49 modifieds entered tonight's show. Then the consolation winners, Steve Payne in consolation number 1, and Tim Fuller won race number 2. And the engines have fired. We are set to go racing, and that gives us the opportunity to take a look at our race analysis. 97 laps. Caution laps will count after lap 50, and will not count for the last 3. We'll finish under green. We have a total of 30 cars in this feature race. $6,000 the winner's share out of a total purse of $30,000. And of course, we're always interested in the weather. Temperature 75 degrees. Yes, it is muggy. The wind southwest, 11 miles an hour. Some relief there. The forecast, a chance of showers, perhaps a thunderstorm. That's going to be after the checkered flag flies. As for the track description,
well, it's a half-mile clay track, and it's long straightaway, 600 feet, 12 degrees of banking in the corners. It's a very, very fast racetrack, very heavy red clay.
Now track condition, Cowboy Paul Small. Cowboy said it was looking like it might get a little slick before the night is over here in Newberrytown. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the CarQuest Keystone Classic. And on the pole, we spoke to him earlier, defending Skoal Series champion Doug Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. And outside row 1, the 33 of Ray Swinehart.
Starting third will be Kenny Brightbill out of Sinking Springs, Pennsylvania, the 49-year-old veteran, alongside 37-year-old Danny Johnson in the Freightliner of Newburgh's car number 6.
Row 3 is comprised of number 36 Roger Loreno and number 93 Jeff Strunk.
Fourth row on the inside, starting position number 7 goes to Franklin, New York driver Billy Decker in his new sponsored Pennzoil Olson car, the Randy Ross machine, alongside the exciting Dave Camara out of Poultney, Vermont, in the Camara Slate TL Pro car.
Row 5, a very familiar name to race fans, McCready, but it's Tim McCready out of Watertown, New York, and Frank Cozy's outside row 5.
Well, Tim McCready's father, Bob McCready, the 46-year-old veteran out of Watertown, New York, is on the inside of row number 6, right behind his son. He's in the Kinney Drugstore's Troyer Mud Bus. Craig Van Doren out of Bartow, Pennsylvania, is alongside in the BRB TL Pro car. He's a 33-year-old driver from the Keystone State.
Then row number 7, 39-year-old Jeff Hetzler, and outside row 7, the 87 of Jack Johnson.
Kenny Tremont out of West Sand Lake, New York, is in the Emmerich Associates Troyer car number 115 this year. He's a 9-time track champion at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Jamie Mills is alongside, young driver out of Milford, Delaware, in the Blue Hen Racing Troyer car.
Gary Tompkins inside row 9, and outside row 9, the winningest driver in dirt motorsports history, AJ Slideway's Alan Johnson.
Brett Hearn is on the inside of row number 10. You heard from him just a moment ago. 6-time Skoal champion, 3-time Mr. Dirt champion. Jimmy Chester is on the outside of that row in the number 44. He's out of Newfield, New Jersey.
Row 11, Steve Payne and Tim Fuller.
Vic Coffey, second-year driver out of Leicester, New York, is on the inside of row number 12. Jimmy Horton is alongside.
Continuing on, row 13, Billy Pouch and Steve Botcher.
Row number 14, and this will be an exciting watch. Richie Tobias Jr. out of Annville, Pennsylvania, and the Tobias Speed Shop house car is on the inside. Richie Urick out of Johnson, New York, is on the outside in car number 10.
Chris Tuthill is inside row 15, and Randy Sherlock outside row 15, the 30 starters for our CarQuest Keystone Classic. Our flagger is Jamie Wirt. The field into turn number 3. They'll accelerate just a bit as they go into a little short chute, then into turn number 4. All eyes on the starter in the front row. Doug Hoffman fires, and our race is underway, and Hoffman takes the lead down low into turn 1. Outside, Swinehart tries to dig down inside, can't do it. Hoffman will take the lead to the backstretch.
Down the back straightaway, a pair of red cars running out front. Swinehart in a McNell car. They're chasing the Troyer car of Hoffman. Here we see a great battle in the middle of the pack, but it's Hoffman across the line. He has about a 4-car length advantage over Swinehart as they complete lap number 1.
Both Brightbill and Hoffman look so strong in the heat races, and Hoffman is continuing that. He's got a sizable lead of about 10 car lengths.
He opened it up in a hurry, and I think I may have said that Swinehart was in a Tobias car. That's not true. It's a McNell car. Danny Johnson holds on to the number 3 spot, but he's got his hands full as the Tanner car with Loreno aboard tries to make a pass on the inside, and he will not make the pass. They work in turn number 1 and 2.
We are looking at Brightbill.
Brightbill in the black car number 19. That is the 36 is the Tanner car with Roger Loreno aboard. We'll get it figured out here in a moment. The yellow Pennzoil car down the bottom of the racetrack is the Decker automobile. Randy Ross's car with Billy Decker at the keyboard. We just got a shot of Jeff Strunk, and we'll be watching some of this young man. He's a regular at this racetrack. He's in car number 93, the Auger manufacturing car. And car down on the bottom of the racetrack. We'll be watching him because he is a strong runner here. Roger Loreno in car number 36 holding off Decker and Brightbill. Great side-by-side racing sideways to the corners. Here we get a shot further back in the pack. It's Brett Hearn in the Budweiser red and white number 3 trying to run down Alan Johnson in the Bobar number 12B. That's one of the cars driver combination changes for 1997. Alan Johnson now the hired gun for Jim Bobar in the number 12B automobile.
You mentioned Brett Hearn. He started 19th up to 16th now as we see some good sliding and dicing action through the turns.
Those are the cars that made the field via the Constellation. Steve Payne running down on the bottom of the racetrack. Kenny Tremont up on the outside. We also got a shot of Jimmy Horton in the M1 car down on the bottom. So those guys have got a long way to go in this 97 lapper here.
Hoffman is the leader. Again, we take a look at Johnson, and we take a look, of course, at Brett Hearn in the number 3. 33, Jeff Hetzler.
We ought to clarify, we've got a couple of 33s, and you're right. The orange and yellow 33 is Hetzler. The red 33 is Swinehart. Swinehart currently running in the number 2 spot. We've got Hetzler mired in the back of the pack. There you see Timmy McCready in the white car, yellow number 24 on the side. Timmy McCready, first year with a legitimate big block ride, and this is a very exciting program. We'll tell you more about that, but Jeff Gordon is involved in the operation as well.
Brett Hearn trying to get inside McCready for 15th place. And it's quite a duel out there on the race course.
Looked like Brett did make the pass on the inside as they work through the corner. So Brett goes up to the number 15 spot. Timmy McCready runs in 16. This is Alan Johnson running 17 again with the red number 12B. This young McCready kid is so very, very impressive. He's won a bunch of races already in 358 competition. He started his career last year, came out of go-karts. Of course, it's in his genes, but the kid has been so strong in his first few events.
And we have a yellow on the track, a spin in turn 2. That's Urich.
Richie Urich, the driver out of Johnson, New York. A regular at the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York. Gets his car fired up, and he'll fall in at the back of the pack.
It's our first caution on lap 11. You know, Doug Hoffman was about to get into lap traffic already. That's how strong he's running here this evening.
That's how strong it is, and I'm sure that he'll welcome this caution flag, although Swinehart will be able to put his number 33 tight behind Hoffman for the restart. The clear track is the advantage that Hoffman is looking for.
Take a look at Doug Hoffman. He just signed a blockbuster video deal as a sponsor and added Mike and Ike Candy as an associate. You know, he has over 100,000 samples of cherry candy to hand out over the next couple of weeks. I hope you get your share.
I don't need it, that's for sure. But I'll try it.
Now, until we get to the midway point of this 97-lap race, look at Doug Hoffman. They'll be restarting side by side, but what a resume.
What a resume indeed. Last year, he won his first ever on the mile at Syracuse, first ever 300 on the mile at Syracuse, and won his first Skoal championship. So it was a great, great year for him. And you see there, his motor builder is Ron Hutter. Billy Colton, the associates, his associates up at Troyer Race Cars and Parts build the chassis. It's a blockbuster combination for a blockbuster team, and Hoffman looking for a lot of great things in 1997.
And of course, those figures you saw are only dirt sanctioned wins. He has many, many more wins on his resume. We again remind you that for the first 50 laps, the caution laps do not count. We're ready to fire. Hoffman chose the outside groove to restart, and he comes by the flagger in first place. And second is Ray Swinehart.
Billy Decker has taken over the number 3 spot. Danny Johnson runs at 4. Roger Loreno is 5. Kenny Brightbill is 6. And now Jack Johnson showing in the number 7 spot as they ramble off down into turns 3 and 4.
And slide through, and then down the front straightaway.
Roger Loreno out of Staten Island, New York originally, now residing in Ivytown, Pennsylvania, in the Tanner number 36, but we have caution on the speedway.
This is a spin in turn 4.
That's Richard Tobias Jr., second-generation driver from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Actually resides in Annville, Pennsylvania, driving a car of his own design out of the Tobias Speed Equipment operation in Lebanon. He runs this track on a fairly regular basis with a small block car. He was here testing last Saturday evening with this big block automobile.
All right, well, we have the yellow on the race course. We are live at Susquahanna Speedway in New Berrytown, Pennsylvania, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic will continue after these messages.
Whether your car is strawberry pearl coat, Santa Fe silver, or candy apple red, a PPG certified collision repair shop uses premium paint and a palette of over 100,000 colors to precisely match your car's color, whether it's champagne metallic, emerald green, or banana yellow. PPG premium paint, the right match for your car.
Look for the local PPG certified body shop in your area. Let's face it, cars and trucks don't last forever. And to win environmentally, you just can't junk this stuff anymore. There is a better way. Plastic Auto Recyclers. Each vehicle is dismantled and thousands of parts are reconditioned for wholesale and retail redistribution. Connected by a worldwide computer web, Plastic has it or they can get it. Recovery, pickup, and delivery almost as fast as the Canadian #1. Racing, recycling, responsible. Plastic Auto Recyclers.
How far can you fly for $79? At Sunjet, all the way to Florida. Call 1-800-4SUNJET for your nonstop ticket to Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, or Tampa, St. Pete from only $79. Sunjet offers more fun in the sun with its new service to Myrtle Beach from only $79. Nonstop service to Dallas from just $99. Our Florida vacation packages start at just $199. Great low fares, nonstop flights. Your ticket to the sun is Sunjet. Call 1-800-4SUNJET today.
17 years rated one of the finest baseball camps in the country. Our coaches have many years of professional baseball experience which will benefit players at every level. Each week is highlighted by a celebrity instructor, the likes of Andy Pettit, Pete Harnick, and Joe Girardi. The All-Star Baseball Camp, where everyone's an all-star.
Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery. We are back racing in the CarQuest Keystone Classic. Doug Hoffman continues to lead.
Hoffman leads. Swinehart runs 2. There you see a change in the #3 spot. Danny Johnson has moved around Billy Decker to take back the #3 spot. Up on the outside in the black #19 is Brightville as they charge through 3 and 4. That was a restart that we just saw when it came back after a spin earlier by Richard Tobias Jr. There's Jack Johnson working down on the bottom in the number 87, the yellow car, as he goes after Roger Loreno in the number 36.
So many questions for setups have to be answered and perhaps even guessed at before a race. How about the decision that Doug Hoffman went with?
Well, he chose soft tires, and they had an option, hard or soft. He chose soft. We'll find out. Once you make that decision, you're stuck with it, and there won't be any changing tires here in this one. So we'll find out. The racetrack, very, very changeable, as he talked about in the open. We'll find out if he made the right selection. He does not have a lot of experience here, but as was referenced, his brother does race here. He's not here, but I'm sure that he told him what his tire selection would have been.
On the move, Jack Johnson in the 87.
Jack, the new hired gun for Dan Masden. Moving from deep in the pack on the start up to challenge for the number 5 spot. Moreno has the spot. That's the 5th spot. Now we see go further back in the pack, and Brett Hearn has moved up. He is now running in the number 9 spot. Remember that he started back in position, number 19. He's picked up 10 spots. Ray Swinehart is in trouble. He started second. He's running second most of the race. He's slowed down on the bottom of the racetrack. He withdraws with car number 33. The driver out of Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania, is out of it here on lap number 16.
Had a nice run, but it's abbreviated, 16 laps in. And Hoffman has a huge lead right now. The battle is for second place. Danny Johnson and Billy Decker.
Decker on the inside, Danny on the outside. They are nearly a full straightaway behind race leader Doug Hoffman. Danny has the spot. Decker clawing his way down on the bottom. Proudly wearing the Pennzoil colors on the 91. And as they race down the back straightaway, it's still Danny Johnson, Daring Dan, the stock car man, holding on to 2.
Danny Johnson in second position as we take a look at that duel with Decker. Danny's had success here.
He won the Sunoco 200 here last October, so he knows his way around this racetrack, but so is Decker working the bottom. Danny up on top, Decker on the bottom. Preferred line, maybe the bottom. Let's see where Danny goes. No, he's going to stay up on top and allow the inside lane to open up for Decker.
Pennzoil Olsen of Decker against the Freightliner Troyer of Danny Johnson. And here's Jack Johnson.
Yeah, battling with Roger Loreno. That's been going on for a number of laps. Loreno out of Ivytown, Pennsylvania again. He's in the cream color with the yellow number 36. Here we go back to the battle for the number 2 spot. Decker continues to work the bottom. Danny running the top, and that's the choice because he's had a clean racetrack. And now
It's too close to call. They are battling a great side-by-side battle.
Well, Hoffman is running away with first place, but the battles for second and third and fourth and fifth are raging on with wheel-to-wheel action here.
Jack Johnson has just taken over the number 4 spot in the yellow number 87. Jack Johnson takes over 4. Here we go back to the battle for 2.
And this is what dirt modified racing is all about.
Every which way but straight, and rocketing around the racetrack faster than you drive on the New York State Thruway, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, whatever, and well over 100 miles an hour. Those big open wheels hanging out there. You're right, Doug. This is what it's all about. Side-by-side racing, every which way but straight.
For now, it's Danny Johnson. But that is just for now in the number 6.
And that is only for second as Hoffman continues to run out front. He is a couple of laps away from catching the back of the field. Hoffman is a couple laps away from catching the back of the field.
As we take a look at the duel again between Danny Johnson and Billy Decker, neither of these drivers run here often. In fact, not more than 5 times in their careers.
That's right. We've got caution on the speedway. A car is spun up between turns 3 and 4. That'll be Dick Coffey, driver out of Leicester, New York, in the Sweeteners Plus car. We mentioned earlier he's a second-year modified driver, advancing from the Dirt Sportsman division. Drives a Troyer bus. A very, very exciting young driver. AC Speed World, Sweeteners Plus, sponsoring the effort for Victor Coffey. He came out of the mini sprint division. They raced up around the Rochester, New York area. He refires. He'll fall in at the back of the pack. It is Hoffman, the race leader. Danny Johnson runs in 2. Billy Decker is in 3. Jack Johnson is in 4. Roger Loreno is 5. Kenny Brightbill is 6. Brett Hearn is 7. Jeff Strunk has moved up to 8. Running in the number 9 spot is the number 26 of Dave Camara. And running in the number 10 position, the 114 of Craig Von Doren out of Bartow, Pennsylvania.
Doug Hoffman is the leader of our CarQuest Keystone Classic. He chose the soft tires, the soft compound. More on the tire situation. Here's Cowboy Paul Small.
Well, Doug, it's kind of like playing a game of Russian roulette. Do you run the soft tires and hope they last the entire race, or do you do what Kenny Brightbill has done? Brightbill is the only one of the top runners who's gone with the hard tire option. Now, you notice he slid back a little bit when the green flag came back out. It probably takes a little while for the heat to build up in those tires, but when they do on a long green flag session, he may be tough to beat at the end. It sounds like we're going back to green.
Kenny Brightbill ready to put the pedal to the metal as the green flag flies once again. We're back underway. Every time that Doug Hoffman comes close to lap traffic, running away from the field, the yellow has come out to stunt his growth just a little bit. But again, he pulls out in front, and the battle rages for second and third.
Well, while these guys are racing side by side behind him, that's slowing them down just a little bit, and that's working to his advantage. The guy we've not talked enough about is Brett Hearn. He started in position number 9. He is now challenging for the number 5 spot. Talk about tire selection. I'm not sure what he chose, but I would say that at least for the early going, that was the right setup, because he is a rocket on the racetrack. He's passed more cars than anybody else at this point in the event. He's battling now with Loreno for the number 5 spot.
Loreno in the 36, Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3, and Brightbill is right behind Brett.
Loreno went way high, opened the door for everybody to go flying by, and taking advantage of that is Brett Hearn, as he'll take up the spot. We've got a car slowing here on the front straightaway. That's Gary Tompkins, and I believe that'll bring out the yellow. Yes, it does. Caution flag flies on lap number 26 as McDougal, New York driver Gary Tompkins in the Bill Trout Honeywell Auto Parts Bicknell car comes to a stop here on the front straightaway.
He is going to need a push into the pits. Our 4th caution comes now on lap 27 officially.
Tompkins has already won a pair of races this year. That equals his career wins. He's won 2 races at the Canandaigua Speedway, including just last week when we had the World of Outlaws show there.
Our leader continues to be Doug Hoffman. He has led from the pole position from the very first green flag here this evening. We are live at Susquahanna Speedway in Newberrytown, Pennsylvania, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic will continue after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Here they come! Off that 4th turn! They're full more! Now or never! Last ditch effort! Yellow, yellow, yellow! There they go into that corner! And Bussy makes a move!
gentleman, marvelous Merv Franklin.
Today was probably the biggest moment as far as I'm concerned.
I'm honored to be in it. You know, words can't describe how you feel.
The Great Outdoors RV Superstore, your Fleetwood powerhouse dealer. Over 200 Fleetwood fold-downs, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. Coleman, Mallard, Prowler, Savannah. The best selection on Fleetwood motorhomes. Seasport, Jamboree, Founder, and Pacero. All built by Fleetwood, the world's largest RV manufacturer. Come to the Great Outdoors RV Superstore, Route 57, Fulton.
Strong man, you know, it's capable of hitting a lot of home runs. I think, you know, when he's hitting the ball to right center, he's real dangerous because he can hit the ball out to any part of the ballpark. So I think he's been, you know, awfully impressive.
Buckle up for more Thursday Thunder Road on Sports Channel. This Week in NASCAR is coming up next.
Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery back at Susquahanna Speedway for the CarQuest Keystone Classic. And we're 26 laps in. We're about to go green once again. There is your race leader, Doug Hoffman. Danny Johnson is second. He has been having one heck of a dogfight with Billy Decker. Jack Johnson is in fourth place. And then Brett Hearn has moved from 19th up to 5th.
Another driver on a march is Billy Pouch out of Frenchtown, New Jersey. He's in the Trenton Mac number 704. He started back in position number 25. He's worked his way up to the number 12 spot as we get ready to go back to racing.
There's a 33 of Jeff Hetzler.
He currently runs in position number 11. See Pouch alongside, or you would have if they left the camera there, but they've gone back to the front of the pack. We've got Danny on the inside. That's Danny Johnson in a Freightliner of Newberg Troyer bus. Hoffman is alongside. The green flag flies, and Hoffman wins the drag race.
He's won everything he's tried thus far. Out very high, Danny Johnson. Jack Johnson tries Decker, can't get him.
Yeah, Jack had thoughts of going right down the middle. Danny's so high, Decker is so low. There is an open racetrack if you dare to go there, and Jack Johnson backed out of it.
We had 3 wide in turn 4.
Brett Hearn down on the bottom.
Yeah, he might have been the loser in that 3 wide duel because, as it turns out, Loreno takes over the number 5 spot.
Loreno is using the Danny Johnson line up on the top of the racetrack, and it seems to be working well for him as he's now taken back that spot, trying to run down Jack Johnson, who holds the number 4 spot. Johnson and Decker are on the bottom. Danny is on top, as is the Loreno car. The driver with lane choice is Hoffman. He now holds about a 5-car length advantage over Danny Johnson. He's choosing to run maybe the middle ground, someplace between where Danny's running up on top and Decker's running down on the bottom.
Danny Johnson also has elected to go with the soft compound.
Now that could work. We haven't really probably covered that adequately. The soft compound, extra bite obviously, but there will be a problem. They can wear those tires out, so that could be a problem as this race unfolds. They'll be stickier, faster in the early going. We got Billy Decker in trouble. Tough break for Billy Decker.
He broke and just softly tapped the wall, and the yellow flag comes out.
The problem isn't from the wall, but something broke in the suspension department of the Pennzoil Eagle, and he's parked it against the wall. Running in position 3 at the time.
So the yellow comes out as we near the 1/3 point of our 97-lap championship race. We have been charting the progress and the duels of Loreno. Roger Loreno has had great racing success throughout his career, but his car was badly damaged in a Bridgeport crash 3 weeks ago, and it's totally rebuilt for this evening's race. Seems to be running well.
I'd say they rebuilt it properly. That's right. It's running like a champion. Now, as is obvious, this racetrack is not as smooth as a mirror, and this could be the first of the cars having a suspension problem as a result of the rough racetrack. I'm not sure. Decker running down on the bottom. Yes, he went up. Oh, okay. But see the lip on the inside of the track there, just beside the wall. That may be what caused something to break. And Roger Loreno, boy, was he lucky there. He missed him by inches.
Six-time Bridgeport champion Roger Loreno just evaded the sliding, crippled car of Billy Decker.
Decker's 32 years old. He's married, has a little daughter, 4 years old, I believe she is. He's a logger, by heavy equipment operator. He and his father and brothers work in the logging industry down in their home base of Franklin. Actually, Billy calls Unadilla, New York, his home.
We mentioned that he just got that new sponsor, Pennzoil. What does that mean to a racing program?
Money, in a word. And it is so fortunate for them. Them being Randy Ross, the car owner, Billy Decker, they were thinking of running a limited schedule in 1997 because the funds had run out. They lost some sponsorship over the last couple of years, and they were running on Randy's money alone. They've got a very successful stone business, the Randy Ross family, but not enough to go competitively all races. So to pick up this Pennzoil sponsorship, and it's in part due to television. This is a national sponsorship, and we don't have much of that in this form of motorsport. So the fact that Decker has picked up a sponsor and all is very good news, and the fact that it's Pennzoil, a nationally recognized company, another great break for dirt motorsports. And of course, the biggest recipient, Billy Decker.
Again, Doug Hoffman has the choice. He chooses the outside, and Danny Johnson inside as the green waves once again here at Susquehanna Speedway. Number 1 is Doug Hoffman. The 6 of Danny Johnson is second, and he's being challenged now by Jack Johnson in the 87. Brett Hearn is 4th.
Jack Johnson running the bottom of the racetrack, but Brett Hearn, that march from 19th to 4th. Hearn will now go to the top of the racetrack. He sees that's the only place to race. He's going to go up on top and try to run down Jack Johnson.
Once again, we saw 3 wide in turn 4, and look at this. Doug Hoffman bobbles just a little bit, but Danny Johnson can't quite get him.
And he is there knocking on the door, but could not make the pass. You see Hearn going to the top of the racetrack. He's changed lanes. 3 wide again, Doug, as they came out of turn number 4.
And great racetrack. For the first time tonight, we're actually seeing a battle for the lead.
That's right. Hoffman was able to pull away on all prior occasions, but that's not the case right now. Could it be that those soft tires that he's running are wearing out or cooling or heating up or whatever? But of course, Danny's got the same kind of tire on, so that theory probably doesn't work.
Now remember from earlier, Jack Johnson in the 87, who now is passed by Brett Hearn as the yellow comes out, and there are 2 cars involved there.
Jimmy Horton in the black number, and Randy Sherlock in the 10. Now there are no rear view mirrors, and I suspect that Sherlock didn't realize that Horton was there. So that's one of the car driver combinations that's changed for 1997. Jimmy Horton in the Bob Faust B&F General Machine car number M1. Right now, Jimmy Horton's not a real happy camper.
He'll get straightened around. We'll go back to racing. Let's take a look at Doug Hoffman once again in the number 1. Doug Hoffman has one career 358 modified win here. That was back in '93. Never a regular here, but his brother Keith runs here every Saturday night in a small block, a 358 modified, and he's Doug's crew chief tonight. Interesting story.
Except he may not have shown up. That was a report that Doug gave us earlier. He was to have been the crew chief. Maybe he is, but if he's not here, he's doing it radio control or whatever. Doug's 38 years old. He and his brother operate Hoffman Brothers Speed and Performance in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He's got a daughter, Joette. Again, we've said earlier, he runs Troyer Race Cars and Hutter Power Plants. 1996 Skoal champion. 1991 Mr. Dirt.
Back to racing. Hoffman, Danny Johnson, now Hearn and Jack Johnson battling for 3rd. Hearn has the bite outside. He may get that 3rd position from Jack Johnson. Wow,
in a fight down the backstretch.
Great race. And you see that Danny Johnson has changed lanes. He's gone to the bottom of the racetrack. Hearn is now using the lane that Danny was using earlier. Now as they shuffle off into turn number 1, both of those drivers go to the bottom of the racetrack, and stuck up on top is Laredo in the 36. He's the only guy up on top through turns 1 and 2.
Now Hearn he started 19th, he's up to 3rd, and you know, we talk about being fast enough to catch somebody, but to pass him is something else. That pass of Jack Johnson was electrifying by Brett.
Absolutely, and he is a professional, as is Jack Johnson, of course, but he's figured out the combination here in the early going for sure. That's what it is, figuring out all the variables on your race car. And they can change hundreds of things, from tire pressure to the shocks that they're using, the torsion bars, and the spring setup, whatever they've got for suspension. They so many variables, tire stagger, and again, we talked a number of times about the choice of hard or soft tires. I'm not sure what Brett went with, but they certainly are working.
Let's take a look at Doug Hoffman once again, because I want to point out something about the line that Doug Hoffman is taking. Look how high he's going up in the turns. Is he trying to save his tires a bit?
Well, that's the line that his car is working best in for him right now. I'm not sure that it's saving the tires. Of course, he's scrubbing them a little less as he rides the top of the racetrack. He went a little too high. Actually, I'm not sure the car is handling as he went into turn number 3. It's probably a little higher than he wanted to go.
Doug Hoffman, your leader in the number 1. Danny Johnson is second. Brett the Jet with a rocket move from 19th is now up to 3rd.
Another young driver that is marching his way towards the front, showing on our monitor now, Jeff Strunk, as we've got caution on the speedway. The defending race winner, Kenny Brightbill, the tabloid graphics car, has come to a stop with a flat rear tire, and that'll cause him not to win here in 1997, or it would be a miracle if he does.
Well, lap 38, and this is the 7th caution, and if he can get that changed, remember the caution laps do not count first 50 laps.
Yeah, so we're short of that, but the problem is he'll be at the back of the pack even if he doesn't lose a lap, which he won't lose a lap, but he'll be at the back in a lot of traffic to get by.
Interesting story here on Brightville. He's got a new sponsor, International Masonry Institute in Washington, D.C. Now, Brightville's crewman, Dieter Garman, is the head of the Pennsylvania Bricklayers Union. He opened the door for that deal, and there is Kenny Brightbill with the left rear tire being attended to, and down in the pits, Paul Small.
Tabloid graphics car literally shredded the left rear tire. Now remember, they are on the hard tire compound, so they have to put another hard tire on the left rear so all 4 corners can match. They're now checking the right-hand side of the car. They are pushing Kenny away. Kenny reaching behind him for some kind of an adjustment. You can see steam coming off the tires as they cool down here on pit road, and they're waving him to go, but something is wrong inside the cockpit. Kenny tightening the belts down now and finally pulls away with the tabloid graphics number 19 machine. And I tell you what, the entire sidewall of that tire they pulled up, Doug, has been ripped to shreds.
His son Keith, 26 years old, is the crew chief. Keith is one of 7 children that Kenny and Carol Brightbill own, so they've got a family affair going there. The tabloid graphics car, I'm not sure what the problem was. There you see the shredded tire. 3 years ago in this race, there was a huge outbreak of flat tires. Is that possible here again? Now this again, as Paul told us, was a hard tire. I would have expected that possibly on the soft tire. That's a hard one, so you got to go figure. I don't know.
Firing once again, Doug Hoffman. Battle for 3rd. Jack Johnson crosses the line in 3rd place, and Brett Hearn has slipped to 4th position. Now tries to get it 3rd back down the backstretch, and looks like he may have done it. Brett Hearn back to 3rd.
Brett Hearn has used the outside, and now he goes to the inside to pick up the spot on Jack Johnson. So Hearn's car works both top and bottom. Yellow on a speedway. Caution flag flies once again, and I don't see the problem.
Just debris on the track. There's Brett Hearn. Hey, Brett, did you happen to see Brett's new hauler? He debuted it tonight. It sleeps 6, has all kinds of luxuries, including satellite TV. In fact, he's taping tonight's race to watch afterward in the pits or on his way home. And so while we're taking a look at Brett Hearn, we better mention Pat Waters from Budweiser and the great sponsorship that Brett has, the corporate jet in the Budweiser number 3. We are live at Susquahanna Speedway in Newberrytown, Pennsylvania, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic will continue after this timeout.
Dirt Sportswear Direct presents their spring collection, featuring the denim Dirt Motorsport shirts with embroidered logo and long and short sleeves for men and women. Guys, there's a great selection of Dirt Motorsport Skoal shirts in a variety of colors and styles. The Dirt Motorsports Black Jacket, perfect for springtime racing. Call 1-800-979-DIRT to order. And don't forget your hats. Order today.
Introducing the new Easy Care Certified 6-month, 6,000-mile used car warranty. To be Easy Care Certified, a car has to undergo thorough inspection. Technicians check under the hood, under the vehicle, and even take it for a road test. If something isn't right, they fix it. The Easy Care Certified 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty. If you're a used car, it's kind of like being new all over again.
This Craftmatic Model 2 electrically adjustable bed costs no more than many quality flat beds. And when you buy selected ones with optional heat and built-in massage, you get this fabulous bonus. A 25-inch color TV absolutely free. Call toll-free to receive complete free information by mail. In a flat bed, you have to use pillows to prop yourself up. But in a Craftmatic bed, you adjust yourself into comfortable positions automatically, so you can watch TV, read, and get a great night's sleep. Raise and support your head, neck, shoulders, back, legs, and feet at the touch of a button. Plus, there's optional heat and built-in massage to soothe you. Call toll-free so we can mail you our adjustable bed catalog and the certificate for a free 25-inch color TV with bed purchase. Call to get our free catalog and color TV certificate by mail now. There is absolutely no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-356-7373. That's 1-800-356-7373. Toll-free 1-800-356-7373.
Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery, and we're under green once again in Newberrytown. Brett Hearn way down low.
Only one leader in this race. Doug Hoffman started on the pole. He's led the entire race, but Danny Johnson now trying to run him down. Brett Hearn runs in 3. Jack Johnson is in 4. Jeff Strunk has just taken over the number 5 spot, shuffling Roger Loreno back to 6. Loreno has been very, very strong here tonight. Craig Van Doren out of Pardo, Pennsylvania, has come from the number 12 spot to run in the number 7 spot. Also in the top 10 is Bob McCready, the Kinney Drug Store's car.
Yeah, that was our first look at the number 9 of Bob McCready.
That's right. He started deep in the pack, as we mentioned, number 11, and he continues to march his way towards the front and be a factor here as we approach the halfway point of this event.
And remember, this is not a sprint race. This is a bit of an endurance race, 97 laps. And so Bob McCready is biding his time, sorting his way through traffic. Incidentally, Jack Johnson in the 87 is the only driver in the top 5 who hasn't won a feature race yet this season. He finished second, you might recall, in this race last year. He was the only car on the lead lap with Kenny Brightbill.
There you see a battle. Jeff Strunk working the inside of the racetrack. McCready trying to follow him through as they put Moreno back a spot, maybe even 2, as they shuffle off into turn number 3. McCready working the bottom. There's Steve Payne from the consolation race. He started in position number 21. He's now running in the number 8 spot. Steve Payne in the yellow number 7X.
2 straight years, Bob McCready was Mr. Dirt and winning Skoal Series races and just basically dominating the scene. Then last year he was stricken with pneumonia prior to the season. Bob was in the hospital the first week of this month with kidney stone problems, so he's had his share of setbacks and challenges.
And last year in this race, in the qualifying, he was involved in a little tangle and it injured his back, and that set him back as well. So this is not one of his favorite race places, but he's making the best of it here tonight. The Kinney Drug Stores, Syracuse Frame Service, Troyer Bus, another Troyer car with a 100 power plant, just like the race leader Doug Hoffman.
All Small tells us from the pit, Danny Johnson's crew says that he has dropped a cylinder and he's running on 7 cylinders. How about that?
Not bad for 7 cylinders, but Hoffman is pulling away, but Hearn isn't able to close in. So 7 cylinders or not, Danny's not losing a lot of ground, but he's not bidding for the lead right now. There's 28-year-old Jeff Strunk working the bottom of the racetrack with that Auger Manufacturing car, the Keith Rousey-owned automobile. Auger Manufacturing, they build augers for powders. They move the material up and down and sideways and all sorts of things. They're from nearby Fraser, Pennsylvania. That's Keith Rousey's operation.
Strunk won the 358 championship here 3 straight years.
And he's won a race here earlier this summer in his 358 car. First outing for the big block car in 1997. He's one of the many full-time racers that the Dirt organization has developed.
Brett Hearn is slow to the front straightaway. He's into turn 1 now.
Well, he's moving, and the yellow flag has not come out, but Hearn definitely has a problem. If he can keep it moving, the green will stay out.
He was running in 3rd position.
Tires appear to be no problem there. He's going to pull off, and Brett Hearn, Vernon, New Jersey driver, out of it with the Budweiser number 3.
Tires look fine, huh?
Yeah, well, at least they have all the air in them. Here's the leader, Doug Hoffman. Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Blockbuster video car. Here we go further back in the back. That was Vic Coffey. We had a shot of working the outside, but here it is, Doug Hoffman, all by himself in the number 1 spot. Danny Johnson runs about 10 car lengths back in the number 2 spot. Jack Johnson is 3. A side-by-side battle for 4. Jeff Strunk going at it with Roger Loreno, and looking for racing room is Bob McCready.
Doug Hoffman high on the berm in the turns. Your race later started from the pole position.
We talked about corporate sponsorship with the Decker car and the Pennzoil. Well, this Blockbuster video deal is a Blockbuster potential deal for Hoffman. And again, the Dirt Motorsports organization, we're so happy to have these corporate sponsors come on board nationwide. People like Pennzoil and Blockbuster.
Alan Johnson on the move.
That was Frank Cozy showing on your screen as well. He's running the yellow and white number R24, the Rich Russo car for 1997. Alan Johnson in the Bobar number 12B that Jack Johnson drove last year. This is the car that Alan will use for midweek races only. He drives for Rick and Corky Thumb on a regular basis. That's the battle for 9 and 10. Cozy takes over the spot. Allen runs in position number 10.
And they dice.
'39-year-old Alan Johnson, the winningest dirt modified driver. And this 12B runs the outside of the racetrack. Cozy operates a scrapyard during the week. Allen is a full-time racer. It's the Grosso Trucking, Rich Grosso. I think I mispronounced that earlier, but it's Grosso, the car owner for Frank Cozy in 1987. The CarQuest Grosso Trucking car.
Position number 9.
Danny Johnson may be running on 7 cylinders, but those 7 cylinders are more than enough for Jack Johnson, who runs in 3. Here you see Bob McCready now in 4, trying to run down Jack Johnson. So if Danny does in fact have the problem, I don't know, because he's now within 3 or 4 car lengths of race leader Doug Hoffman.
Brett Hearn is still in his car in the pits. Let's go down to Paul Small. Paul, what's up?
Well, Brett Hearn doesn't quite know, or at least the crew didn't quite know what happened on the racetrack. They said that Brett's car just shut down. They've got the engine bonnet off. We're going to get in here. They are working right now, looks like inside the cockpit on the ignition. Brett, any idea what went wrong with the car, why it shut down? Brett having a hard time. Here it is. He's waving off for a second here. Brett, what happened? Any idea why the car shut down?
I'll tell you, the Budweiser car was perfect, and the motor just shut off. No vibration, no warning at all. It just shut off. Probably an electrical problem, perhaps an electrical problem.
I tell you, this is a tough one for Brett Hearn's crew. You'd like to have something go wrong with the car so you know what to fix, if you know what I mean, Doug.
Well, suddenly, Doug Hoffman has his hands full with Danny Johnson.
He's got something to fix as well. He knows what it is. It's he doesn't know for sure who's back there. There are no rear view mirrors in his car, but he can hear somebody there. The somebody is Danny Johnson. 7 cylinders or 8 or 12 or whatever he's got. We've got caution on the speedway. This will be a break for Hoffman as again he'll get to clear out the racetrack. It's Timmy Fuller slowing in turn number 1. And that's the reason for the yellow. Young driver out of Edwards, New York, in the number 19 car slows. And now caution laps will count. We are on lap number 61. Race leader Doug Hoffman.
61 and counting. Doug Hoffman, there he is in the number 1. He's leading. Doug is looking forward to Thanksgiving because he'll be getting married to Gina Michael on a Caribbean cruise during Thanksgiving. That's a lot to look forward to, and we know he has a lot to look forward to beginning tonight because Danny Johnson, who has been hot lately, won 3 straight races over the weekend of May 30th through June 1st, is hot on Doug Hoffman's heels.
He certainly is. He had closed in and was definitely challenging for the lead. Now Hoffman going way down on the bottom of the racetrack. We suspect that he thinks there's still some coolness down there, and he can cool off those tires. Liquid is the word I was looking for. Liquid, the moisture making its way towards the top to cool off the tire.
Radio communications provided to Rush Hour and Dirt Motorsports by Midstate Communications, providing reliable, customized paging service and complete communication systems for race teams and racing fans. Midstate Communications, the official supplier of radio communications for Dirt Motorsports.
62 laps completed. The race leader, the only one we've had all night long, Doug Hoffman. Danny Johnson runs in the number 2 spot. We are ready to go back to racing.
We have had many changes in position, many passes, but not yet for the lead. Pole sitter Doug Hoffman continues to lead under green flag conditions. And here we go once again. Let's see if Danny Johnson can continue to keep the pressure on Doug Hoffman. He's right on his tail in turn 2.
Further back in the pack, we see the battle. Now we go back to the front of the pack, and Bob McCready is the 3rd car that's showing in your screen there. He's taken over 3. Jack Johnson runs in 4. Further back, we see the Steve Payne in the yellow number 7X trying to pick up a spot. Remember, he came from the Constellation. Back to the battle for lead. Danny backs it into turn number 1. Bound to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 2. They're side by side, wheel to wheel. Hoffman has the advantage on a 2 and down the back straightaway.
Meanwhile, Bob McCready just looms in 3rd.
Closing in. Now we know that Danny, or it's been reported, he has a problem. Maybe Hoffman has a problem as well, and McCready, it appears there's nothing wrong for the master of going faster. The only thing wrong for him is he's got 2 guys in front of him right now.
Here's a change. Danny Johnson goes outside and Hoffman down low, but still Doug Hoffman continues to lead as our top 3 runners at this stage. Hoffman, Danny Johnson, and Bob McCready have combined for over 1,000 career wins. The cream of the crop up front.
The cream has risen to the top, and there goes Daring Dan, the stock car man, down on the bottom. Yellow flag flies. Caution on the speedway. We've got a car facing the wrong way down here in turn number 4, and that is Tim McCready, the young 2nd-generation driver out of Watertown in the number 24.
Won 7 358 races last year as a rookie. He's struggling here back in the pack.
Well, these big block cars, a whole different challenge for the youngster, and that's part of the problem.
We are 67 laps in here at Susquahanna Speedway, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic will continue after this timeout.
If you're filling your prescription, worrying about what you should take with what and when you should take it and how it will affect you, maybe you're going to the wrong place. So break out of there and come to Phase Drugs, where the pharmacy is our business. Our pharmacists are always there to answer questions on dosage, drug interaction, insurance, and more. And Accufax lets you keep the Phase pharmacist advice at your side night or day. It's a major breakthrough in making prescriptions easy.
Kenny Bernstein's Budweiser King, the 1996 Top Fuel champion. Congratulations.
salute you. Someone invades your home. Do you have time or a safe place to wait? Every day, millions come home, lock their doors, turn on their alarms, and believe they're safe. Wrong. You need security that works. Introducing the Door Guard, a powerful new security device to protect your family and business. The Door Guard can be used on almost any door and withstands tremendous impact. The Door Guard is simple and easy to use. It installs in just minutes with a few screws. Act now. Tomorrow could be too late. Call 1-888-DOOR-GUARD and get yours for the incredibly low price of just $49.95. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll return your money, no questions asked. And if you order now, we will also include 4 nylon hinge holds to keep most doors open. A $19.95 value, yours free. Call now to get this entire Door Guard security package for just $49.95. Protect your family and property now. Time is on your side with the Door Guard.
Accommodations provided at Dirt Motorsports by the Super 8 Motel, Harrisburg South. 95 comfortable rooms, conference and reception facilities, and group reservations by fax are just some of their services. Easy access to and from Route 83. Extra parking and truck discounts are also available. Life is great at Super 8. There's your leader, Doug Hoffman. He started on the pole. Danny Johnson is second. Barefoot Bob McCready is third. Jack Johnson fourth. And the green flag flies. Lap 71. We are racing once again.
Danny will work the bottom of the racetrack. McCready is down there as well. Hoffman up on top, then comes to the bottom as they leave turn 2. Opens up about a 6-car length advantage over that great battle for the number 2 spot.
McCready down low on Danny Johnson, but Danny will maintain that second position. Boy, Hoffman got great bite out of turn 2.
He certainly did, and he's using a different line from the top to the bottom, and he may have something there. A great battle going on behind these lead 3. The battle for 4, Jack Johnson has it, but the very impressive Roger Loreno is trying everything he's got in his bag of tricks to move by the veteran out of New York State.
Kenny Brightbill is on the move in the number 19 machine as well.
He was up to the number 10 spot on the restart. Remember, he had made a tire change earlier. Didn't not lose a lap as that flat tire came in the first half when they were not counting cautions. There we see Payne working on the bottom in the yellow car. He runs in position number 8. Alan Johnson is in the red number 12, being running in position number 9. So that's a battle for spot, position 8. It looks like it'll go to Alan Johnson.
McCready in the backstretch. McCready and Danny Johnson. McCready takes over second place. Let's see if he can hang out on a turn 4. How about Barefoot Bob McCready now running second?
A power move down on the bottom of the racetrack, and the Hunter Power show. Oh, almost had contact there. Here comes Danny back. This is a barn burner under a blanket, those top 3, or at least they were just a moment ago. McCready will stay down on the bottom, try to hold the car down there. Danny may be those hard tires that he's got on the Freightliner number 6. Well, now he goes to the bottom of the racetrack, and McCready, oh, they almost made contact. Almost, but not quite. Well, some other recorders reporting that maybe they did make contact. Okay.
Maybe they did.
I guess I had my eyes closed. It was too close for comfort.
They are sliding and bumping and grinding and gunning right now at Susquehanna.
At speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour. That's the thing that we have to make sure that you all realize as you watch this in your living rooms. These guys are battling out with these open wheel cars, and you can see every which way but straight, they're going over 100 miles an hour. They scrub off a little speed at the corners, but down the straightaways over 100, are averaging nearly 100 miles an hour here on this half-mile track.
And as McCready and Danny continue to battle for second place, pulling away is Doug Hoffman. 2-second lead now.
That changes by the second, believe me, and I'm sorry to interrupt there, Doug, but those guys got so close there just a moment ago. No contact was made. Danny has changed his line. Now he goes back to the top of the racetrack, and McCready's on the bottom. Side by side, slugging it out, these veterans of dirt track wars.
Now, McCready dives down low and appears to have the momentum, but coming out of the turn, Danny Johnson has it.
Yeah, he's got to pinch it off down there on the bottom. That scrubs off more speed. Danny's able to keep his momentum up on the top of the racetrack. But they're changing lanes each end of the racetrack and almost every lap around. So it's just every man for himself here. And I'm not sure that... Oh, our leader, Hoffman, is in trouble. He's lost it. The blockbuster video car, the only leader in this race. He'll go out on lap number 82. He led lap 81. Unbelievable.
And so now Danny Johnson and Bob McCready are in a fight for the lead.
McCready has the advantage as they move down the back straightaway. Doug Hoffman is on pit road with a smoking blockbuster car. Here is the battle for the number 1 spot. McCready has it. He takes the lead officially on lap number 82.
And we can expect a battle royal now down the stretch. Danny Johnson, remember, we had a report he was running on 7 cylinders. McCready now takes off.
Those are the strongest 7 cylinders in all of history, I think, Doug. My goodness. What a job.
Well, I was wondering earlier if those fellas, there's a look at Doug Hoffman's car. What an absolute pity. Wondering if McCready and Danny Johnson were catching Hoffman or if he was dropping back a little bit. And, well, I don't know if we'll actually know the answer to that, but right now we know that Doug Hoffman has a whole lot of steam on his hands.
And we also know that once Bob McCready moved around Danny Johnson, maybe we're now seeing that 7-cylinder deal working because McCready is able to open up, what, a 6-car length advantage over Danny Johnson here. Once he got in front, was able to pull by and open up a comfortable margin.
Bob McCready, 26-year veteran out of Watertown.
Father of 3, and one of those 3 is in this race with him here tonight. He's got a couple young girls as well, but this is father and son out here tonight.
He has had, for Bob McCready, his struggles thus far. Hasn't had a great early season, only 3 wins. Only 3 wins, I say. Some people would beg for 3 wins.
In a career, they'd beg for 3 wins. Here we see further back in the back of battle, Steve Payne in the 7X goes against Roger Loreno. There's Jeff Strunk in the Auger number 93. Some great racing here. Caution flag flies. We've got yellow on lap number 88. And I don't see the problem, but there may be debris.
So the race slows. But I'll tell you, what a show we had tonight from Doug Hoffman, who is now parked in the pits, and he's standing by with Cowboy Paul Small.
And that terrible smell of an overheated engine is permeating through the Hoffman pits. Doug, what happened? It looked like it just let go.
No, but actually, it broke a water pump, so it's not really serious, but it's bad enough that we can't continue. Start spraying water out. Of course, the next thing was the motor was going to get hot, and we were going to hurt the motor. But at this point, it's just, it cost us a race, you know.
Looked like this car was working strong. You were driving kind of a different line on the racetrack, going up the banking and then just kind of angling it across the face coming out of 2 and 4.
Well, that seemed like, you know, we went with soft tires and they were starting to go away, and the best line for me was to, you know, roll the car in on the top of the racetrack and come down off and just nip the bottom where there was some good clay yet coming off the turns. But, you know, Blockbuster video car was awfully strong tonight. I got to thank Midstate Communications and Mike and Ike, all the sponsors. We'll be back. We had a good, strong race car. It just wasn't our night.
Doug Hoffman was looking for a blockbuster performance. He had one until the water pump let go, Doug.
And our Skoal champion handles himself like a champion in the pits. Doug Hoffman out of the race, lap 89. There's your leader, Bob McCready. He fires on turn 4 down the front straightaway, and the green flag flies.
Danny Johnson runs at 2. Jack Johnson is at 3. Roger Loreno is at 4. Steve Payne is up to the number 5 spot. Jeff Strunk runs at 6. Alan Johnson is 7. Kenny Brightfield is 8. Jimmy Horton is 9. And Craig Van Doren rounds out the top 10 to work lap number 90. It's a great 3-way battle for the number 3 spot. Jack Johnson has it, but Roger Loreno and Steve Payne are all over him, and Alan Johnson is up on the top of the racetrack. That, again, is the battle for 3, 4, and 5. Brightfield, remember, made the pit stop. He's very much in the hunt. I said he was out of it. That's not at all the case.
But up front, it continues to be Bob McCready as we have 5 laps to go. Hey, Bob McCready turning laps right now as we see Steve Payne dig down low on Loreno.
the battle for 4.
There's Brightville on the move. Four laps remaining. Look at that three-way battle.
Great three-way battle. You're right. Side by side. Loreno, Alan Johnson, Jack Johnson, Steve Payne, all very much, and Kenny Brightville right there knocking on the door, as is Alan Johnson. Actually, it's Alan. It's next to the line. Then it's Brightville.
Jamie Wirt, our flagger, pulls out that white flag. He'll be standing by to show it to our race leader, Bob McCready. Danny Johnson is second. 2 laps to go out of turn 4. We continue to watch the battle for 3rd and 4th place.
That is an outstanding battle. Waynesburg, New York driver Jack Johnson and the Dan Mazden Duchess overhead doors, number 87, but Loreno got him just as we spoke. Loreno takes over position number 3.
White flag left. Bob McCready leads. He's got a sizable lead right now on Danny Johnson. Down the backstretch, Bob McCready continues to run smoothly into turn 3. Makes the turn into turn 4. Jamie Wirt has a checkered flag out. And barefoot Bob McCready is the winner of the CarQuest Keystone Classic from Susquahanna Speedway. Danny Johnson finishes second. Roger Loreno third. Alan Johnson fourth. Jack Johnson fifth. And Kenny Brightville was sixth.
Steve Payne was 7. Jimmy Horton was 8. 9 was Jeff Struck, and rounding out the top 10, Craig Van Doren in the 114. That, of course, is all unofficial. But what is official, Bob McCready records the win here at Susquehanna tonight.
So congratulations to Bob McCready, and we will hear from the master of going faster when we come back. We are live at Susquehanna Speedway, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic will continue. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Dirt Sportswear Direct presents their spring collection, featuring the denim Dirt Motorsport shirts with embroidered logo and long and short sleeves for men and women. Guys, there's a great selection of Dirt Motorsport Skoal shirts in a variety of colors and styles. The Dirt Motorsports Black Jacket, perfect for springtime racing. Call 1-800-979-DIRT to order, and don't forget your hats. Order today.
If you're going to be tough on your car's engine, you better put something tough in the engine. And no engine treatment is tougher than Tough Oil. Tough Oil, the world's most efficient lubricant, is making a special introductory offer. Buy 2 8-ounce bottles of the world's toughest engine treatment for only $25 and get a 3rd bottle free. Oh, that's so tough. It's beautiful. Tough Oil makes engine start easier and run cleaner, faster, and longer. Buy 2 bottles, get the 3rd one free. That's a tough deal to pass up. Hey, nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
90 miles from New York City, there's an entire world like you've never seen before. The Concord Resort Hotel, championship golf, indoor and outdoor tennis, live entertainment with the biggest names in show business, a million activities just for the kids, and much, much more. So leave your world behind and lose yourself in ours for a while. The Concord Resort Hotel. For reservations, call 1-800-CONCORD.
More scoring, faster pace, closer coverage. The 50-yard indoor war known as arena football is in session, and the New Jersey Red Dogs are out to make their mark on the rest of the league. Sport Channel's exclusive coverage of the Red Dogs goes behind the scenes and captures all the up-close, fast-paced field action. 8-on-8 squads, no punts, and more points. See why they call it in-your-face football. Saturday, June 14th at 7:30, the Red Dogs take on the Tampa Bay Storm, only on Sports Channel.
There is Bob McCready rolling into victory lane. You know, Bob had his trials last year and actually dropped off the Skoal tour beginning in July, but in 1995 Bob McCready won the Skoal season opener at Brewerton and went on to win the series championship. Wouldn't that be something in 1997? Let's go down to victory lane and Paul Small.
Thanks very much, Doug. Barefoot Bob McCready getting the winner's medallion that goes with their full racing super. What? Bob getting the CarQuest for the CarQuest Keystone Classic here tonight at the Susquahanna Speedway. Let's move in here and get a couple of words with Barefoot Bob. Bob, looked like you were going to be chasing for second or third place, and then all of a sudden luck broke in your direction.
I think I was chasing for 10th or 12th for the first half of the race. I thought we made a big mistake going to hards, and I wanted to pull in, you know, but the guy said, "No, just stay with it. You know, maybe it'll come later." We stayed with it, but my crew is the best crew in racing. I thank them. They prepare the cars. They're doing all the work in the shop, and they're just they're fantastic guys. You know, just proud to be associated with them.
Great to start off the Skoal season on the right foot.
Yeah, it's good to start out any race with a win. I'm just tickled for the sponsors, Kinney Drug Stores, FX Compare Car Company, Syracuse Service. I mean, I'm glad we won this one down. We'll see what we get.
Well, in order to win the race, you got to be consistent and finish it. Bob McCready did exactly that in winning the CarQuest Keystone Classic, Doug.
His 34th career Skoal win, third all-time, and his 254th overall dirt victory. Second to all-time leader Alan Johnson. Congratulations, Bob McCready. Back with more from Susquahanna Speedway, and our coverage of the CarQuest Keystone Classic continues after this.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like CarQuest brakes, professional technicians know that safe driving begins with good brakes. That's why they insist on the best CarQuest brakes, because safety counts. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Coca-Cola Concert Series at the Cayuga County Fairground Fair, and B104 welcomes July 9th, Toby Keith, along with Pam Tillis. And coming July 10th, it's Tim McGraw, with special guests Dina Carter and Bill Engvall. Tickets for both shows available through Ticketmaster, the Fairgrounds box office, stage door, and 3D Art in Watertown. Call 315-834-6606 for more details. Hot country nights at the Cayuga County Fair. Come on down to Cayuga Country.
Where do smart players go? Players Club International, the experts who will show you how to have fun the smart way. Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Caribbean. Players Club members are always guaranteed to save up to 60% on rooms, food and drink, and even shows. Or maybe you just want to relax and play the course. Players Club members receive up to 50% savings on over 2,000 golf courses nationwide using Golf Digest discount directory. Join us as a Players Club member and mingle with celebrities at our members-only gaming and golf tournaments. Any way you want to play, the experts at Players Club can take care of you today. We are so convinced that you'll love the Players Club lifestyle that we'll include your first Players Club VIP travel experience absolutely free. Limousine service from the airport, 3 days, 2 nights stay at a casino, VIP check-in, casino match play, and much, much more. Start playing the smart way. Call the 800 number for information about the free VIP travel experience. There's no obligation. Call today.
Thank you for all the statistical help in the booth to Tom Skabinski and Kevin Kovac. There is the number 1, Bob McCready, then Danny Johnson, Roger Loreno, Alan Johnson 4th, Jack Johnson 5th, and Kenny Brightbill, the top 6 finishers.
Jimmy Horton was 8th, Jeff Truck was 9th, Craig Van Doren rounding out the top 10 here at Susquahanna this evening. Our first race of the Skoal Series for 1997. We're off to Bridgeport, New Jersey, 1 week from tonight.
That's right. Next week, we'll be at Bridgeport Speedway in Bridgeport, New Jersey for the CarQuest Tough Oil Garden State Challenge. For Gary Montgomery, Paul Small, and the entire Rush Hour on Dirt crew, this is Doug Logan saying thank you for joining us, and so long for now. The executive producer of Rush Hour on Dirt is Glenn Donnelly. Rush Hour is a production of Dirt Motorsports and a presentation of the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.